Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss a video from testbook.com.
हेलो एवरीवन, गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन, हाउ आर यू ऑल। हेलो एवरीवन, गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन, हाउ आर यू ऑल। कैसे हो आप सब, कैसे हो आप सब। आई होप यू ऑल आर फाइन। गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन, गुड इवनिंग। आई होप यू ऑल आर फाइन। यस मोहित, गुड इवनिंग, गुड इवनिंग, गुड इवनिंग। ओके सो आज हम लोग क्या बात करने वाले, जरा इसके बारे में बात करते हैं। देखो जरा एक बार स्टार्टिंग से चल रहे हैं कि हमने क्या क्या डिस्कस किया, व्हाट वी हैव स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम द व्हाट वी हैव डिस्कस्ड फ्रॉम द स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द वेरी फर्स्ट क्लास। सो क्लास नंबर 1 वी डिस्कस अबाउट व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी इन द ट्रांसपोर्टेशन इंजीनियरिंग। क्लास नंबर 2 we discussed about the highway development, how the highways have been developed। हाईवे जो है कैसे डेवलप हुए हैं, एक दिन की मेहनत नहीं है, बहुत टाइम लगाया, राइट। जयाकर कमेटी है थी हमारी, उसके बाद नागपुर रोड प्लान हुआ, बॉम्बे रोड प्लान, लखनऊ रोड प्लान, ये हमने डिस्कस किया है सेकंड क्लास में। क्लास नंबर 3 वी स्टार्टेड विद द जियोमेट्रिक्स और द जियोमेट्रिक डिजाइन ऑफ हाईवे। क्या क्या डिस्कस किया हमने, हॉरिजॉन्टल अलाइनमेंट, वर्टिकल अलाइनमेंट, क्या डिस्कस किया, कैम्बर डिस्कस किया, लॉन्गिट्यूडनल फ्रिक्शन के बारे में डिस्कस किया, लेटरल फ्रिक्शन के बारे में डिस्कस किया, सुपर एलिवेशन के बारे में डिस्कस किया। दैट इज ऑल वी हैव डिस्कस्ड। देन वी स्टार्टेड विद द ट्रैफिक इंजीनियरिंग पोर्शन। उसके बाद हमने ट्रैफिक इंजीनियरिंग पोर्शन को स्टार्ट किया। और ट्रैफिक इंजीनियरिंग पोर्शन में अभी तक हम लोग क्या डिस्कस कर चुके हैं। ट्रैफिक इंजीनियरिंग पोर्शन में हमने पहले डिस्कस किया है कि ट्रैफिक की रिक्वायरमेंट क्यों है, यह डिस्कस किया, ठीक है। ट्रैफिक स्टडी हम कैसे कैसे करते हैं, स्पॉट स्पीड स्टडी क्या होती है, स्पीड एंड डिले स्टडी क्या होती है, 98th परसेंटाइल स्पीड क्या होती है, 85th परसेंटाइल स्पीड क्या होती है, 30th आवरली वॉल्यूम क्या होती है, ये हमने डिस्कस किया। तो ये सारी बातें हम मोटा मोटा डिस्कस कर चुके हैं। इन टूडेज लेक्चर विच इज अगेन अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट लेक्चर, what we are going to discuss is that we are going to discuss about the traffic studies and analysis part। कि ट्रैफिक जो है हमारा, एक सड़क पे कितनी गाड़ियां जा रही हैं, किस डायरेक्शन में गाड़ियां जा रही हैं, किस रफ्तार से गाड़ियां जा रही हैं, इसको डिस्कस करने के लिए, इसको समझने के लिए एक मेरे पास एक एनालिसिस का होना या एनालॉजी का होना बहुत जरूरी है। अब मान लो कि आप गाड़ियां काउंट कर रहे हो कि चलो जी एक दिन में हिसार से लेकर के चंडीगढ़ तक जो है इस सड़क पे 1000 गाड़ियां जाती है, मान लो कि फॉर एग्जांपल 1000 बसें जाती हैं। क्या फायदा उसका, जब आपको पता ही नहीं है कि आपको उससे अल्टीमेटली निकालना क्या है, तो क्या फायदा गाड़ियां काउंट करके, ये बताओ मेरे को, है कि नहीं। तो अल्टीमेटली मेरे को पता होना चाहिए कि मेरे को उससे निकालना क्या है। तो हमने स्पीड डेटा से हमने क्या निकाला, स्पीड डेटा से हमने निकाला कि स्पीड का वेरिएशन कैसे होगा, मॉडल स्पीड क्या होती है, फ्रीक्वेंसी टेबल हमने बनाई अपनी, राइट, ओके, ये हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं। अब हम डिस्कस करेंगे आपने गाड़ियां जो काउंट करी हैं, अब मैं उन काउंटिंग का करूं क्या, मैं करूं क्या उस गाड़ी की काउंटिंग से। तो ये अभी हम डिस्कस करने वाले। फिर धीरे धीरे हम लोग जो है साइन और सिग्नल की तरफ बढ़ेंगे। वेबस्टर मेथड क्या होता है, ट्रायल मेथड क्या होता है, फिर हम इस चीज के ऊपर आगे डिस्कस करेंगे। तो सीक्वेंस मैंने आपको बता दिया कि क्या सीक्वेंस चल रहा है। जो स्टूडेंट आज फर्स्ट टाइम लेक्चर देख रहे हैं, आई हैव टोल्ड यू द सीक्वेंस। अगर आपने पहले के लेक्चर्स नहीं देखे हैं, यू गो टू द टेक्स्ट बुक चैनल, आप पिछले लेक्चर उसमें देख लेना कि क्या क्या पढ़ाई हुई है, ठीक है ना। तो ताकि आपको यू विल बी इन सिंक विद अस। अदरवाइज मैं कुछ और पढ़ा रहा हूं, आपको कुछ और समझ में आ रहा है, राइट। तो एकदम बेसिक क्लियर होना जरूरी है, उसके बाद ही फिर आगे बढ़ने का फायदा है। अब ये लेक्चर देखो आप, जो फर्स्ट टाइम स्टूडेंट्स फॉर वाचिंग दिस लेक्चर, आफ्टर दैट यू गो टू द प्रीवियस लेक्चर्स आल्सो एंड वॉच दोस लेक्चर्स कि हुआ क्या है, कि जो कहानी स्टार्ट हुई, कैसे कहानी स्टार्ट हुई है, राइट, जीरो से कहानी कैसे स्टार्ट हुई है, तो आपको ये पता होना जरूरी। यस रोशन, गुड नाइट नहीं होगा रोशन, इट विल बी गुड इवनिंग। ध्यान रखना 4 बजे के बाद जब भी आप किसी को विश करो, आप गुड इवनिंग बोलना उसको। और जब उस इंसान से आपकी मुलाकात खत्म हो जाए, जब आप उस इंसान से दूर जा रहे हो मुलाकात करके, तब आप गुड नाइट बोल देना उसको। एक पहली सीख ये मिल गई अपने को आज, ठीक है ना। चलिए स्टार्ट करें फिर हम लोग। शेल वी स्टार्ट, व्हाट डू यू थिंक, शेल वी स्टार्ट करें हम लोग, स्टार्ट किया जाए, बताइए, प्रोग्राम स्टार्ट करें फिर हम लोग। चलिए let us start now. Let us come to the topic. The topic is traffic studies and analysis. Now let us go to the topic. First of all, let us discuss about the origin and destination studies. ओरिजिन एंड डेस्टिनेशन स्टडीज, ओरिजिन एंड डेस्टिनेशन स्टडीज को शॉर्ट में ओ एंड डी स्टडी भी बोलते हैं। ओरिजिन एंड डेस्टिनेशन स्टडीज को शॉर्ट में ओ एंड डी स्टडी भी हम लोग बोलते हैं, ठीक है। ओ स्टैंड्स फॉर ओरिजिन एंड डी स्टैंड्स फॉर डेस्टिनेशन। अब देखो नाम से क्लियर हो गया, ओरिजिन मतलब कहां से मेरी ट्रिप चालू हुई और कहां को मेरी ट्रिप खत्म हुई। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मैं आपको एग्जाम्पल लेता हूं। मान लो कि एक इंसान है, मान लो कि मैं एक एग्जाम्पल लेता हूं, मान लीजिए कि रोशन है, रोशन सा भी मैसेज आया था तो मैं रोशन का एग्जाम्पल ले रहा हूं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल मान लीजिए रोशन है, रोशन मान लीजिए रहते हैं दिल्ली में, ठीक है, दिल्ली में रोशन रहते हैं, मान लीजिए लक्ष्मी नगर में रोशन जो है रहते हैं, ही लिव्स इन लक्ष्मी नगर फॉर एग्जाम्पल। एंड रोशन he has his office in बाराखंबा रोड, और लेट अस से इट इज सीपी, इन सीपी ही हैज हिज ऑफिस, वो सीपी में जो है जाके जॉब करते हैं, मान लीजिए मिनिस्ट्री में इनकी जॉब है रोशन की, और जो है यहां पे सीपी में जाके जॉब करते हैं। अब रोशन, पहले तो मुझे यह देखना पड़ेगा, अगर मुझे डिजाइन करनी है सड़कें, अगर मुझे डिजाइन करनी है सड़कें या रैपिड ट्रांजिट सिस्टम अगर मुझे डिजाइन करना है, तो पहले तो मुझे यह देखना पड़ेगा कि रोशन सुबह घर से कितने बजे निकलता है, पहले तो मुझे देखना पड़ेगा। मान लीजिए ये रोशन हो गया, रोशन का घर हो गया, फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये लक्ष्मी नगर में इसका घर है, लक्ष्मी रोशन का, ठीक है। और मान लीजिए कनॉट प्लेस रोशन जाता है सीपी, सीपी में उसका ऑफिस है। तो मान लीजिए रोशन सुबह निकलता है कितने बजे, मान लो कि सुबह 7:30 बजे रोशन अपने घर से निकलता है, और सीपी उसको पहुंचने में लगता है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल उसको सीपी पहुंचने में लगता है लेट अस से 8:30 AM तक वो सीपी अपने ऑफिस में पहुंच जाता है, 8:30 AM तक वो अपने ऑफिस में पहुंच जाता है। हेलो राहुल, हेलो, हाउ आर यू, हेलो सागर, हेलो, हेलो राहुल। ओके, फॉर एग्जाम्पल रोशन जो है सीपी तक जहां पे उसका ऑफिस है वहां पे वो 8:30 बजे तक पहुंच जाता है। क्लियर, 7:30 बजे निकला, 8:30 बजे पहुंच गया। अब मुझे यह देखना पड़ेगा जब रोशन का मैं जब इंटरव्यू लूंगा, ये बहुत सारे मेथड्स हैं इसके, होम इंटरव्यू मेथड होता है, पोस्ट कार्ड मेथड होता है, बहुत सारे मेथड्स हैं इसके, राइट। जब मैं रोशन का इंटरव्यू लूंगा तो मैं रोशन से ये पूछूंगा, रोशन ये बताओ जब आप सुबह सुबह घर से निकलते हो तो कौन से रास्ते से जाते हो। रोशन बोलेगा सर मैं आईटीओ जाता हूं, आईटीओ पे बहुत भीड़ लगती है, वहां पे कम से कम मुझे 15 मिनट का मुझे गैप लगता है, 15 मिनट का मैं लेट हो जाता हूं, उसके बाद फिर मैं सीपी जाता हूं। कभी कभी क्या होता है, कभी कभी मैं अक्षरधाम से भी जाता हूं, अक्षरधाम में भी एक वहां पे जाम लगता है, फिर मैं सीपी जाता हूं। तो मैं क्या करूंगा, रोशन एंड प्लस रोशन के आसपास रहने वाले जितने भी लोग हैं, थ्रू वेरियस मेथड्स, व्हाट आर द वेरियस मेथड्स, होम इंटरव्यू मेथड, पोस्ट कार्ड मेथड, बहुत सारे मेथड्स हैं मेरे पास जो ऑलरेडी मैं पिछली क्लासेस में डिस्कस कर चुका हूं। वर्क स्पॉट मेथड हो गया, पोस्ट कार्ड मेथड हो गया, रिटर्न पोस्ट कार्ड मेथड जिसको हम बोलते हैं, टैग ऑन कार मेथड हो गया। इन मेथड से हमने देख लिया कि रोशन और रोशन के आसपास के जो दोस्त रहते हैं, उसके आसपास जो सीपी में जॉब करते हैं, कहीं पे भी जॉब करते हैं, वो कहां कहां उनकी ट्रिप्स शुरू होती हैं और कहां कहां एंड होती है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल 50 लोग जा रहे थे सीपी की तरफ, कोई यहां से घूम के जा रहा था, कोई यहां से घूम के जा रहा था, कोई यहां से घूम के जा रहा था, 50 लोग गए सीपी की तरफ। मान लीजिए ये एक जगह है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल करोल बाग, लेट अस से कोई करोल बाग जगह, करोल बाग में लक्ष्मी नगर से लोग जाते हैं, डेली सुबह निकलते हैं और करोल बाग में जाते हैं, मान लेंगे 100 लोग जो है करोल बाग में जाते हैं, सीपी में 50 लोग जाते हैं। मान लीजिए कि एक और जगह है आपकी नोएडा, लेट अस से यहां पे आपका नोएडा हो गया, ये आपका नोएडा हो गया। मान लीजिए लक्ष्मी नगर से नोएडा, मान लीजिए कि डेली 40 लोग जाते हैं उस पर्टिकुलर जगह से जहां पे रोशन रहता है वहां पे। तो मुझे ऐसे ना पूरा एक नेटवर्क मिल गया, तो मुझे समझ में आया कि अच्छा जी हाँ, सुबह यहां से लोग निकलते हैं यहां जाते हैं, यहां से लोग निकलते हैं यहां जाते हैं, मुझे समझ में आ गया। अब इस चीज को मैं एक ग्राफ पे या फिर एक प्लेन पेपर पे भी आप इसको ड्रॉ कर सकते हो। और जब आप ओरिजिन एंड डेस्टिनेशन स्टडीज जो भी आपने स्टडी करी है, लोगों से पूछ के या रिटर्न पोस्ट कार्ड से, कैसे भी जो भी आपने स्टडीज करी हैं, जब आप उसको एक A4 शीट के ऊपर ड्रॉ करोगे, उस पर्टिकुलर चीज को हम बोलते हैं डिजायर लाइंस। ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट, कई बार एग्जाम में आया हुआ है। क्या बोलते हैं हम इसको बोलते हैं डिजायर लाइंस, डिजायर लाइंस। अब क्वेश्चन ये आता है सर डिजायर लाइंस होती क्या है और बनती कैसे है। तो हम क्या करते हैं कि अपने मैप को, फॉर एग्जांपल मेरे पास एक मैप हो गया दिल्ली का, ये मेरे पास दिल्ली का मैप हो गया, लेट अस से आपका दिल्ली का मैप हो गया। अब दिल्ली के मैप को मैं कई जोन्स में डिवाइड करता हूं। मान लीजिए कि जोन नंबर 1 है लक्ष्मी नगर, जोन नंबर 2 मान लीजिए कि ये करोल बाग, जोन नंबर 3 CP. Zone number 4, Rohini. Zone number 5, Shalimar Bagh. Zone number 6, Pitampura. So we have divided this Delhi map into various zones. Now अब मैं क्या करूंगा, अब मैं लाइंस की मदद से कि देखो यहां से ये लोग यहां जा रहे हैं, यहां जा रहे हैं, यहां से लोग यहां भी जा रहे हैं, यहां से लोग यहां भी जा रहे हैं, यहां से लोग यहां भी जा रहे हैं, यहां से लोग यहां जा रहे हैं, यहां से लोग यहां जा रहे हैं, यहां से लोग यहां भी जा रहे हैं. स्ट्रेट लाइन, ये टेढ़ा नहीं होगा, स्ट्रेट लाइन होगा. यहां जा रहे हैं, यहां जा रहे हैं. तो ऐसे जो है मैं दर्शाऊंगा अपनी ट्रिप्स को. अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि सर जब आपने बोला कि 50 लोग लक्ष्मी नगर से सीपी जा रहे हैं तो आपने एक ही लाइन ड्रॉ क्यों करी, आपने 50 लाइन ड्रॉ क्यों नहीं करी? अगर मैं मैप में 50 लाइन ड्रॉ कर दूंगा तो मैप में ना कुछ समझ ही नहीं आएगा, लाइन ही लाइन नजर आएंगी बस. तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, डिजायर लाइंस को ना हम लोग थोड़ा मोटा बना देते हैं, थोड़ा मोटा बना देंगे. मान लो कि ये मोटी सी लाइन बना दी मैंने, ये मैंने मोटी सी लाइन बना दी. ऐसे ही आपका सीपी था, सीपी में भी मैंने मोटी सी लाइन बना दी. क्वेश्चन ये आता है सर ये मोटी सी लाइन का मतलब क्या है? तो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, जो डिजायर्ड लाइन की थिकनेस होती है, द थिकनेस ऑफ द डिजायर्ड लाइंस, इट गिव्स यू द नंबर ऑफ ट्रिप्स. ये क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में आया हुआ है. इट गिव्स यू नंबर ऑफ ट्रिप्स. इट गिव्स यू नंबर ऑफ ट्रिप्स. अभी तक समझ में आया? अभी तक समझ में आया ये वाला? अभी तक समझ में आया? हाँ, मोस्ट सूटेड रूट सेलेक्ट करना. बिल्कुल सही, बिल्कुल सही, बिल्कुल सही, बिल्कुल सही. So please explain in English. Don't worry at all. I will also explain in English. You just be with us, right? So I will be explaining in both Hindi as well as in English. You don't have to worry at all. ये समझ में आया? Have you got it now? Now let me explain this thing in English, because I know that a lot of my students, they cannot understand Hindi at all, right? They just understand English. Now let me repeat this in English. Let us say that, let me take a name. If you don't mind, let me take a name. Let us say that Karthik. Karthik is with us, right? Let us say Karthika is with us or Karthik with us, right? So Karthik, let us say that you live in Delhi. I'm just taking an example. It can be any example, right? Let us say that Karthik lives in Delhi, and let us say that Karthik lives in Lakshmi Nagar and his office is in Connaught Place. So Karthik, every day he starts his journey to office 7:30 a.m. in the morning and he ends his journey 8:30 a.m. in the morning, and he punches and he enters in his office. Let us say that Karthik is working in some ministry. Let us say Ministry of Roads, Morth, Ministry of Road Transport and Highway, for example. What I do in the origin and destination study is that I will go to everyone's home. So there are very methods. There are a lot of methods, by the way, right? One method is the home interview method. I will go to home of every person and I will interview them. When do you start your journey? When do you reach your office? Where do you find the maximum traffic? I will ask a few questions. There is one more method which is also called as the return postcard method, and this question has also been asked in exam. The return postcard method is a study for which type of studies? Number 1, spot speed study. Number 2, delay studies. Number 3, something else. Number 4, origin and destination studies. So return postcard method is for the origin and destination studies. This question has also been asked in examination. So what I will do is that I will go to the Karthik's vicinity and I will ask everyone, where do you work, where do you go, at what time do you start? I will have a data and I will represent that data on a particular sheet. On a particular sheet, what I will do is that I will form a map. This is a map. I will form a map and I will divide my map into various zones. Zone number 1, let us say Lakshmi Nagar. Zone number 2, let us say Karol Bagh. Zone number 3, let us say it is Connaught Place. Zone number 4, let us say Rohini. Zone number 5, let us say Shalimar Bagh. Zone number 6, some other place. So I will divide this my map into various zones, and what I will do is that, let us say from Lakshmi Nagar to Connaught Place, every day in the morning 50 people go to office. So I will draw a line. Similarly, from Lakshmi Nagar to Rohini, I will draw a line. So I will draw various lines in between various zones. Now the question is, sir, if 50 people are going from Connaught Place, if 50 people are going from Lakshmi Nagar to Connaught Place, why are you drawing a single line? My answer is, if I will draw 50 lines, it will become a lot of cumbersome process, or the map will not be eligible to get any data. It will not be eligible. So what I do is that I increase the thickness of the lines. Instead of drawing a lot number of lines, I just increase the thickness of the lines. For example, in RCC, you have bundled bars. Okay, if you have bundled bars, your tau BD, that is the bond shear stress, it increases by some percentage. If you keep on increasing the bundled bars, it will keep on increasing, but after a certain number of bars, I guess it is 4 or 5, after a certain number of bars, you do not increase the tau BD. Why? Because instead of providing so many bars, you can provide a single bar of a higher thickness. So that the same thing happens here also. Instead of drawing a lot number of lines, we just increase the thickness of line. And the thickness of the desired lines is actually called as is actually proportional to the number of trips. The more number of trips, the more thickness the line is. सर थोड़ा फास्ट लीजिए. हाँ, सबको देख के चलना पड़ेगा ना, सबको देख के चलना पड़ता है. मान लीजिए कि somebody is a slow learner, somebody is a fast learner, तो थोड़ा सबको देख के चलना पड़ता है. ठीक है. So that is what it is. Sometimes, dear students, sometimes this particular data can also be represented in a pie chart. Sometimes this data can also be represented in pie charts. If you represent it in pie charts, the diameter of the pie chart is directly proportional to number of trips. Remember this thing also, number of trips. If you represent this data in the form of a pie chart, this particular diameter of the pie chart, it basically tells you about the number of trips. Remember that thing also. That is also an important parameter. Okay. Now proceeding further, let me tell you a very important thing. So you can opt for the Testbook Pass. So we have more than 100% courses. A lot of mock tests are there, right? A lot of selections we have already made. Exam strategies also there, as well as the expert guidance that you will be getting. Okay.
वन पास फॉर 100+ गवर्नमेंट एग्जाम्स, जिसमें आपको मिलेंगे 100 से भी ज़्यादा कोर्सेज, 3500+ मॉक टेस्ट, 500 से भी ज़्यादा PDF स्टडी नोट्स आपको मिलेगा सिर्फ 149 रुपीज.
Okay, and one more thing I would like to tell you that for SSC JE 2021, which will be held in March, 99% probability is that it will be held on time. It will not be delayed. Okay, so we have already started our live classes. I am taking strength of material class in the morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and we have our Deepak sir also. So he is taking the geotech in the evening. That is your from 7:30 to 9:30. He is taking the classes. Okay, so if anybody of you is interested, you can go to the textbook site and see whatever you want to. Right. So now let us come to the main topic. So now let us go to this. Second topic here in the traffic studies, we have the traffic flow characteristics and studies. अब हम बात करते हैं कि ट्रैफिक फ्लो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स और ये स्टडी क्या होता है, इसके बारे में जरा हम बात करते हैं. हाँ, राहुल हिंदी में भी समझाएंगे, हिंदी में भी, इंग्लिश में भी और हिंदी में भी, दोनों में चलेगा. ठीक है ना, टेंशन मत लीजिए आप. ठीक है. सो ट्रैफिक फ्लो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक स्टडीज में हम लोग क्या पढ़ते हैं, देखिए सुनो, कुछ तरह के ट्रैफिक होते हैं. एक आपका होता है डाइवर्जिंग ट्रैफिक. वन इज कॉल्ड एज द डाइवर्जिंग. One traffic is called as the merging traffic. One type of traffic is called as the crossing traffic or crossing maneuver. Sometimes also it is called as crossing traffic. Now, what is the meaning of diverging? What is the meaning of merging? And what is the meaning of crossing? Let us say, मान लीजिए कि आपकी एक गाड़ी जो है यहां पे सीधी जा रही थी. ठीक है, एक गाड़ी सीधी जा रही थी. एक गाड़ी ने क्या किया, एक गाड़ी मान लीजिए थोड़ी सी आपसे ना राइट में चल रही थी और इसने लेफ्ट का इंडिकेटर देके ऐसा चला गया. तो यहां पे ना कोलिजन होने के चांसेस है. इस पॉइंट पे यहां पे कोलिजन होने के चांस होते हैं. इसको हम बोलते हैं डाइवर्जिंग ट्रैफिक और इसको हम बोलते हैं डाइवर्जिंग कॉन्फ्लिक्ट पॉइंट. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट पॉइंट का मतलब क्या होता है, जहां पे गाड़ी के टकराने के चांस होते हैं उसको हम कहते हैं कॉन्फ्लिक्ट पॉइंट. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट पॉइंट इज द पॉइंट और इज द लोकेशन at which we have the maximum probability of two vehicles colliding with each other. That is called as a conflict point. As from the name it is clear, conflict मतलब लड़ाई. ठीक है. So for example, one vehicle was going in this direction. एक गाड़ी आपकी इस डायरेक्शन में जा रही थी. At this point they can collide with each other. That is called as the diverging traffic. That is called as the diverging. Okay. Or diverging maneuver. There is one more word used for all these things which is called as the maneuver. MANOEUVRES, maneuvers, called as the maneuvers. Okay, hi sir, I did not add a date on photo, my application gets rejected. Dear Yugender, सो इफ यू सी द नोटिफिकेशन ऑफ एसएससी जेई, अगर आप नोटिफिकेशन देखोगे एसएससी जेई का, उन्होंने क्लियरली लिखा हुआ है कि अगर आपने फोटो पे जो है डेट ऐड नहीं किया है तो आपका जो फॉर्म जो है रिजेक्ट हो जाएगा। उन्होंने ऐसा लिखा हुआ है एसएससी वालों ने, ठीक है। सो देखो युगेंद्र, अभी पता नहीं है, अगर एसएससी वाले बहुत ही ज्यादा स्ट्रिक्ट हुए, अगर एसएससी वाले बहुत ही ज्यादा स्ट्रिक्ट हुए तो वो आपका जो है फॉर्म कैंसिल कर देंगे। लेकिन आप जो है होपलेस मत रहो, आप यू डोंट बी होपलेस, यू वेट, बिकॉज समटाइम्स व्हाट हैपन इज दैट दे रीओपन द एडिट लिंक। समटाइम्स वो करते क्या है, अगर उन्होंने देखा कि बहुत सारे बच्चों का डेट नहीं था फोटो में, तो वो एडिट अपने आपकी एप्लीकेशन को एडिट करने का लिंक वो आपका खोल देंगे। अगर उनको दिखा कि हाँ बहुत सारे बच्चों ने नहीं भरा है, तो आपका एडिट का लिंक खोल देंगे, उस टाइम जाके आपको उसको ठीक कर लेना। लेकिन अगर आपने उसमें डेट नहीं डाला है, तो अगर आप मेरे से पूछोगे तो बहुत ज्यादा चांसेस है कि आपका रिजेक्ट फॉर्म होने के चांसेस हैं, बहुत ज्यादा। बट डोंट बी होपलेस, और अगली बार से जब भी आप कोई फॉर्म भरोगे, एक बार उसका नोटिफिकेशन अच्छे से उसको पढ़ लेना, बिकॉज आजकल बहुत सारे एग्जाम्स में चेंजेस हो रहे हैं, राइट। फ्रॉम द नेक्स्ट टाइम इफ एनी, यस सर देयर आर मेनी। देखो अगर बहुत सारी एप्लीकेशन उनके पास आएंगी जिसमें डेट नहीं होगा, और आप एक काम करो, आप एसएससी वालों के ऊपर मेल भी डाल दो, सर ड्यू टू सम पर्सनल इश्यूज और ड्यू टू व्हाटएवर, एक रीजन डाल दो, आई वाज नॉट एबल टू एडिट द डेट ऑन माय फोटो, प्लीज प्रोवाइड मी एन एडिट लिंक। तो क्या पता वहां से कुछ खुद ही रिप्लाई आ जाए, ठीक है ना। आप एक बार मेल भी उनको डाल दो एसएससी वालों को, ठीक है। ओके, नाउ लेट अस प्रोसीड टू द मर्जिंग ट्रैफिक। अब ये मर्जिंग ट्रैफिक क्या है, एक बार जरा इसके बारे में सुनते हैं। मान लीजिए कि आपकी गाड़ी इस तरफ जा रही थी, योर व्हीकल वाज गोइंग इन दिस डायरेक्शन, एंड सम व्हीकल बाय गिविंग अ राइट इंडिकेटर इट मर्ज्ड विद दिस मेन ट्रैफिक। सो हियर वी हैव अ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट पॉइंट, ये गाड़ी यहां पे टकरा सकती है आपस में। सो दिस type of maneuver is called as the merging maneuver, right? And we have the crossing maneuver, which is supposed to be as the most dangerous. This is supposed to be as the most dangerous, and it comes in the category of major conflict. It comes under the category of major conflict. Major conflict. और ये जो दोनों आते हैं हमारे, ये किस में आते हैं, ये दोनों हमारे आते हैं माइनर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में। माइनर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट मतलब गाड़ियों में टक्कर होगी लेकिन ज्यादा नुकसान नहीं होगा। नुकसान होगा, साइड से गाड़ी ठुक गई, कुछ भी हो गया, लेकिन ज्यादा नुकसान नहीं होगा आपको। दिस इज कॉल्ड एज द माइनर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, माइनर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, एंड दिस इज कॉल्ड एज द मेजर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट। यहां तो पक्का नुकसान होना ही होना है। ये क्रॉसिंग होता कैसे है, मान लो कि एक गाड़ी ऐसे जा रही थी और एक गाड़ी यहां से आ रही थी ऐसे, और यहां पे गाड़ी आपस में आगे टकरा गई, तो यहां पे आपका क्रॉसिंग कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो गया। इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, इसको हम लोग मर्जिंग कॉन्फ्लिक्ट भी बोलते हैं। For this answer is written postcard or license plate. For this answer is written postcard or license plate method. See, origin and destination is used for this return postcard method is used for the origin and destination studies, right? The return postcard method, it is used for the origin and destination studies. Now let us proceed now further to another topic. Now we have one more type of crossing traffic. We have more type of crossing traffic. Now the crossing traffic can be like this also. For example, vehicle was going in this direction and one vehicle was going in this direction. This angle is called as the crossing angle alpha, right? Okay. This is called as the crossing left. Crossing left. And this crossing is called as the crossing right. Crossing right. Okay, so these are the various types of traffics that we have. Okay, and one more question can be there in examination, that the origin and destination study, because somebody was asking from me from the origin and destination, that origin and destination studies is used for which purpose? Origin and destination studies is used for which purpose? So origin and destination studies are basically used for the design of the rapid transit facility. What is the meaning of rapid transit facility? For example, your metros are there. For example, your mass transit facilities there. Let us say you are, अगर आप दो जगह के बीच में बसेस चलाना चाहते हैं, सरकारी बसेस चलाना चाहते हैं, at that time also you use the origin and destination studies. I hope, right? It is fine. Okay, shall we proceed now? Shall we proceed? Shall we proceed now? आगे बढ़े हम लोग. Shall we proceed? चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं, आगे बढ़ते हैं हम लोग. ठीक है, चलिए आगे पढ़ते हैं. Now the concept of space and time headway. Now let us go to this concept, which is the concept of space and time headway. अब जरा इसको समझिए है क्या. तो हेडवे का मतलब क्या हुआ? हेडवे का मतलब हो गया आपका डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम हेड टू हेड. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, दिस इज योर वन व्हीकल विच इज मूविंग इन दिस डायरेक्शन एंड दिस इज योर वन व्हीकल विच इज मूविंग इन दिस डायरेक्शन. तो व्हेन यू मेजर द डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम हेड टू हेड, जब आप हेड से लेकर के हेड तक जब आप डिस्टेंस मेजर करते हो, इसको हम कहते हैं क्या? इसको हम कहते हैं स्पेस हेडवे. इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? इसको हम बोलते हैं स्पेस हेडवे. टाइम हेडवे क्या हुआ? इस स्पेस हेडवे को कवर करने में गाड़ी को कितना टाइम लगा, ये आपका हो गया टाइम हेडवे. मैं आपको दोबारा समझाता हूं इसका मतलब क्या हुआ. इसका मतलब ये हुआ, so in the book it was given license plate. It is not license plate method. Actually see, a very important thing I would like to tell you that origin and destination studies can be done with the help of a lot of methods. Okay, so first method, which is the foremost used method, is called as the roadside interview method. That is called as the roadside interview method. The second method is called as the return postcard method. The third method is the tag on car method. In tag on car method, what do we do is that we provide a tag on the car, right? One more method is used, as you were saying, that license plate method. Yes, license plate method is also used for origin and destination studies, but license plate method is predominantly used for the spot speed data and for the delay studies, the speed and delay studies. But for this method also you can use it, right? For OND study also you can use it. But when I was telling you about the spot speed data and the spot speed data thing, right? At that time also I told you that license plate method is used there also to calculate the delays, the how much delay is happening for a particular vehicle. There also it is used, right? And return postcard is also is used for the origin and destination studies. Okay, so now let us understand about this concept, which is called as the concept of space and time headway. Now, what is the meaning of it? So, what is the space headway? For example, two vehicles are moving. Let us say that this is one vehicle, this is one vehicle, these are two vehicles. Let us say this is one vehicle, this is one vehicle, these are two vehicles, these two vehicles are moving, right? So, the distance between this portion, which is the head of the number one vehicle and the head of the another vehicle, is called as the space headway. This is called as the space headway. एक गाड़ी के सर से लेकर के दूसरी गाड़ी के सर के बीच में डिस्टेंस होता है, उसको हम बोलते हैं स्पेस हेडवे. और ये स्पेस हेडवे जब गाड़ियां से ट्रैवल कर रही है, फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम सिटिंग हियर, वन व्हीकल इज गोइंग एंड अनदर व्हीकल इज फॉलोइंग इट, राइट? अब इन दोनों को स्पेस हेडवे को कवर करने के लिए कितना टाइम लगा, हाउ मच टाइम इज टेकन टू कवर दिस स्पेस हेडवे, इज कॉल्ड एज द टाइम हेडवे, इज कॉल्ड एज द time headway. Now I hope that you have got the concept of space headway and time headway. Okay, now I hope that you have got the concept of space headway and time headway. Yes, Karthik, yes, okay. Okay, that is called as the space headway and the time headway. Okay, so I was telling you that because in Hindi I told you this thing. So we have already started our SSC JE classes on the Testbook platform. Okay, so I am taking classes of strength of material. Currently it is going. Okay, we started the classes I guess on 24th or 25th November. Only 1 week has happened. Okay, now we have started with the bending stresses and the shear stresses. Tomorrow is also the lecture of bending and shear stresses. So I am taking classes from 9 a.m. in the morning to 11 a.m. in the morning, and Mr. Deepak sir is taking classes from 7:30 to 9:30 of Geotech. Okay, and our target is to finish civil engineering syllabus for SSC JE by 25th or 26th of February most probably, right? We will finish it. After that we will be focusing on the mains exam. Okay, so if anybody of you is interested, so he or she can go to the Testbook site there I am also teaching in Hindi as well as in English. So if somebody of you is might facing some issues, because while browsing over the internet, right, we face a lot of issues because most of the lectures they are in Hindi, right? So it becomes very difficult for a lot of students to grasp what is being taught. Okay, so if you are facing any issues, you can go to the Testbook platform and there we can interact with each other. Okay, so yesterday I finished the bending moment and shear force diagram concept, and that was again a very informative as well as a very you can say two-way communication was there. So it was a very fantastic lecture. You can go to the demo lectures also. Okay, now if I draw a graph between the space and the time headway to compare the two, let us see what we will get. Let us understand it. For example, let us say that, let me take on y-axis, let me take the spacing. Let me take the spacing on y-axis. What is the meaning of spacing? Spacing means that the distance between the vehicles. The distance between the vehicles. And on the x-axis, let me take speed. Do textbook cover maximum syllabus? It will not cover maximum syllabus. It will cover all syllabus, right? Every portion will be discussed in the class. Don't have to worry at all, Yogendra, right? Yeah, do classes run regular? Yes, regular. The classes are regular, right? So every day I am taking classes except Sunday. Sunday is a holiday. Otherwise, I am taking classes every day on the Testbook platform, not the YouTube channel, but the Testbook site. You on this link. Okay, below this lecture, below this video, you will get a link, a pinned message will be there. You fill up the form and the representatives will call you and they will guide you how you can proceed for the lectures. Okay, and I hope that we will meet soon in the morning classes and we will discuss the engineering concepts, that is the bending moment, shear force and other concepts. Okay, so now let us draw a graph between speed and spacing. Now you tell me, dear students, what will happen to head, that is the space head, if I increase the speed? For example, this is one vehicle. Again, let me take the same example with the help of one marker and one pen. That is all we can do, right? That is all we can do. Let us say this is one marker. It's a permanent marker. Its ink should not, it should not leak. Okay. So let us say that this is one vehicle, this is another vehicle. Both vehicles are moving with some velocity. Now, dear students, what will happen if you increase the speed? If you increase the speed, dear students, if you will increase the speed, your space headway will increase. What will happen is that if you increase the speed of these vehicles, the space headway will increase. Now there comes a doubt in my mind that, sir, if I increase the speed, how will the space headway increase? Because let us say that जो पीछे जो गाड़ी थी, मान लो 50 किलोमीटर पर आवर की स्पीड से चल रही थी और आगे वाली गाड़ी भी 50 किलोमीटर प्रति घंटे की रफ्तार से चल रही थी. Let us say that the front vehicle was also moving with the velocity 50 kilometers per hour. The back vehicle was also moving with the velocity 50 kilometers per hour. If I increase the speed, your question can be, sir, how the spacing between the vehicles will increase? My answer will be, go to the roads. If you know driving, you will understand what I want to convey. You go to roads. Let us say that you are driving a car. If your car is driving with the velocity of 100 kilometers per hour, and if your car is driving in traffic at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour, what happens to the spacing between the cars? Got my point? Because if you are traveling with a very high velocity, this is the human tendency that I have to maintain a gap between the vehicles. Otherwise, if the front vehicle, he applies his brake suddenly, then my vehicle can get collided with the front vehicle. So that is the general tendency which comes in the PIEV theory. Perception, intellection, emotion and volition. That comes in that theory, that there should be a gap between the two vehicles. That is the common sense I can use. So it means that if my speed is very high, the space headway will keep on increasing. That is number one point. So if I draw a graph, the space headway will keep on increasing, or you can say that the spacing will keep on increasing. The spacing will keep on increasing. If you increase the speed, the spacing will keep on increasing. Now, what will happen to the time headway? You tell me, if you increase the speed of the vehicles, although the space headway will increase, but what will happen to the time headway? Dear students, the time headway will decrease because the vehicles are now traveling with a very fast velocity. For example, this is the reference point. This is the reference point. At this point, this particular head has entered at t is equal to 0. and this is some another vehicle at some distance s, t equal to 0. Now, if I start my stopwatch at this point, and these are traveling with a very fast velocity, to cover this distance, the head between these 2 points, it will not take much time. It will not take much time. It means that if I keep on increasing the speed up to a certain limit, the time headway will slowly decrease. It means that up to a certain limit, the time headway will slowly decrease. But after some time it will increase. Now the question is, sir, why? Because if you further keep on increasing the speed, let us say that your speed is 220 kilometers per hour or 120 kilometer per hour, even 120 kilometer per hour. So you will maintain a very long gap. To cover this long gap, it will take time. Although your speed is very fast, but still it will take some time, which will be more than the minimum time, and it will keep on increasing. So it is a graph of the time headway. It is the graph of time headway. That is also represented in terms of HT also. HT. That is the space headway. I hope you have got it. Is it fine? I hope you have got it. यहां तक समझ में आया आपको? यहां तक समझ में आया? यहां तक समझ में आया आप लोग को? हैव यू गॉट इट टिल नाउ? अभी तक समझ में आया? ओके, मुकेश इज सेइंग हां सर, फाइन टिल नाउ. ओके, अभी तक सब ओके है? अभी तक ओके है? अभी ओके रिपोर्ट है अभी तक? इज एवरीथिंग फाइन टिल नाउ? शैल वी प्रोसीड? व्हाट डू यू से? आगे बढ़े हम लोग? Time headway explain. Okay, let me explain time headway once again. Okay, now see, let me now explain you with the help of a diagram. Then you will get it. Okay, for example, this is one vehicle. I am showing you a top view. Right? This is, let us say, vehicle number B. This is my vehicle number A. First condition is that they were in traffic. A lot of traffic was there. So the vehicles are end to end. Almost there is a gap of, let us say, 2 meters or 3 meters, but they are just sticking with each other, right? This is my vehicle number A. It is a traffic condition. Some traffic light is there. Let us, this is the red light here. Once this is a green light, these vehicles will start moving. Slowly, what will happen is that the spacing between the vehicles will keep on increasing. That is number one point. Why? Because the human tendency that if the vehicle speed is greater, I have to maintain a distance. Otherwise, if the front vehicle applies the brake, suddenly my vehicle might get collided with the front vehicle. That is my human tendency. So suddenly what will happen is that slowly your B vehicle is here and your A vehicle is here. So the headway, the spacing headway has increased. This is the spacing headway. It has increased. That is what I have represented here. It will increase. Now, what happens to the time headway? Dear student, let us say that the gap between this gap, let us say take 6 meters is the length of the vehicle. Let us say 5 meters the gap. Let us say this is 10 meters. This gap is 10 meters. Initially, when the traffic light was there. So when the traffic light was there, okay, the gap was 10 meters. How much time was it taking to cover this distance? If the vehicle is at rest, it will take infinite time. Because it is at rest, it will take infinite time. So the time is infinite. It will take infinite time if the velocity is almost zero. Clear? Now, once these vehicles start moving with the velocity, right? Let us say now the velocity of this vehicle B is 5 kilometer per hour. And the velocity of this is, let us say, 6 kilometer per hour. At that time, to cover this distance, which is 10 meter, it will take some time, which is a definite quantity. It means that the time now will decrease. Initially it was infinite, now it will decrease. Further it will keep on increasing, but the velocity of the vehicle B is also increasing. Now let us say that it has become 50 kilometer per hour. Let me take this thing, right? So the space headway is now S, but the vehicle speed, this is how much? This is 100 kilometer per hour, and the speed of this vehicle is, let us say, 120 kilometer per hour. 120 km ph, for example, and you are sitting here. You are sitting here on a chair. You are sitting here on a chair. So once this vehicle A, the head of vehicle A is in your front, you have started your stopwatch. And when the vehicle B will come in front of you here, you will stop your stopwatch. So at that time, if you will note, the time will keep on decreasing. And after a certain period of time, if the vehicle velocity is very high, let us say this A vehicle is traveling with a velocity of 200 km per hour, the B velocity is traveling with a speed of, let us say, 150 km per hour. At that time, this space headway will be very, very, very large. There will be a very large gap between the vehicles. So it will certainly take more time to cover the same distance. So obviously, the time will keep on increasing. That is the meaning of this graph. Okay. If you have not got it, after this lecture, you again go to this YouTube, again replay it, and you will get the meaning of what I want to say, right? Okay, Kartika. So now let us proceed to the next topic. The next topic, let us understand about some important terms. Some important terms. Some important terms. Some important terms. Now, what are some important terms? First one is the traffic volume. These terms will be used very frequently. First one is the traffic volume. That is the first term. Okay. So what is this traffic volume? Traffic volume is the number of vehicles moving in 1 hour. Let us say that this is the stretch that you have assumed. Let us say this is 1 kilometer stretch. In this 1 kilometer stretch, in 1 hour, how many vehicles will cross this stretch? That is actually the meaning of volume. Or you can say that number of vehicles per hour. Or sometimes you can also calculate it for day also, right? Which is called as a daily volume, or number of vehicles per day also you can calculate it. Per day also you can calculate. It depends on you what you want to calculate. Whether you want to calculate the hourly volume, whether you want to calculate the daily volume, it depends on you. If you are calculating the hourly volume, the formula will be number of vehicles per hour. For daily volume, it will be number of vehicles per day. The next point is traffic density. Traffic density. Traffic density. Now, what is traffic density? The number of vehicles in 1 kilometer. The number of vehicles in 1 kilometer is called as the traffic density, or in a unit length. If you are assuming a unit length, that number of vehicles in a unit length is called as the traffic density. For example, this is the length that you have assumed from here to here. Let us say this length is L. So traffic density is given by number of vehicles per unit length. Generally, this length is taken as 1 kilometer, generally, right? So it will be number of vehicles per kilometer. Number of vehicles per kilometer is called as the traffic density. Okay, so we have got the traffic volume and we have got the definition of traffic density. Is it fine? Shall we proceed now? Shall we proceed? Is it fine? Have you got the concept of traffic volume and the traffic density? What is the meaning of traffic volume and traffic density? Shall we proceed? Shall we proceed? Okay, Mukesh is saying yes, sir. What about others? Shall we proceed now? Have you got the concept of what is this traffic volume and traffic studies? I am again repeating, traffic volume is the number of vehicles, whether you are calculating it for 1 hour or whether you are calculating it for day. So that is the number of vehicles per hour or per day. Traffic density is in a particular stretch, how many vehicles are there. That is called as the traffic density. Let us proceed now. Next point is traffic capacity studies. Traffic capacity studies. Now the question is, sir, what is this capacity? So we have just studied volume. We have just studied volume. Clear? We have just studied volume. And we also know the time headway and the space headway relation. If you increase the speed, the spacing will keep on increasing and the time headway will keep on decreasing. After some time, it will keep on increasing. So at this particular point, we have the lowest time headway, which is called as HT. Let us say it is HT at this point. That is, it is taking the least time. For two vehicles to cross, it is taking the least time. That is your HT. At this particular point, we have the highest volume, dear students. Because why? Because volume is actually equal to number of vehicles per hour. Let us say per hour. It can be per day, it can be per hour. It means that volume is inversely proportional to time, because whether it is hour or whether it is day, day is what? Time. Hour is also time. It means that volume is inversely proportional to time. If you decrease your time, your volume will increase. Simple. If you increase your time, volume will decrease. It means that at this point, we have the highest volume. Is it fine? At this point, we have the highest volume, and that highest volume, dear students, is called as the capacity. Clear? That is a general notation also. For example, how many samosas can you eat? What is your capacity? I can eat 20 samosas if somebody is saying. It means that is the maximum number of samosas he can eat. Similarly, capacity, the maximum number of vehicles passing per unit time. And when do we have the maximum number of vehicles? When we have the least time or time headway. When we have the least time headway, then we have the maximum volume. And that maximum volume is actually called as the capacity. Is it fine? Have you got it? समझ में आया ये वाला? Important concept, right? What the students do is that they mug up this formula. They do not know what is the actual meaning of this particular formula. Okay, they do not know that, they just mug up the formula. Have you got it? Okay, Mukesh is saying yes. Okay. What about others? Have you got it? Shall we proceed now? Okay, now proceeding. Okay. Now, capacity can also be divided into three parts. Okay, so first is the basic capacity. I hope you are making notes, and dear students, I always tell my students, do not run behind PDF and do not run behind the screenshots. Do not run behind the PPTs. I am again telling you, you ask anyone, whosoever has cracked the exam in the first attempt or in the second attempt and has got a good rank. Even if he has qualified, 99.9% students, they will say you that I have made my handwritten notes. Again, I am telling you, do not run behind PPTs, do not run behind PDF notes. Always and always make your own handwritten notes. Because when you are writing something in your own language, that thing gets embedded in your head, which is also called as the subconscious mind. That particular thing gets embedded in your subconscious mind if you're writing something. So try to always make your handwritten notes. Do not run behind PDF. Do not run behind PPTs. You will not gain anything. If you feel that, sir, I am not fond of writing. My writing is very poor. I do not I do not like writing something, whether it is a note or anything. मुझे लिखना पसंद नहीं है. If you do not like writing, do one thing: get a standard book. For example, for this traffic engineering, I can say that the standard book can be Khanna and Justo. Khanna and Justo can be a standard book. Okay. You get a standard book, and with the help of a marker, a very light marker, a highlighter, you mark your important points. If you do not like writing, and whenever you are revising, जब भी आप revise करोगे, अलग-अलग book में मत दौड़ना. That, for example, you are studying from Khanna and Justo, and then you are for revision you are going to Gopal and Ranjan or some other book. Do not do revision in different books. If you are doing your preparation from one standard book, do everything with that book. Do not run behind different books, that in that book something is better, in that book something is better. Otherwise, it is better that by reading all the books and by watching all the lectures, you make your own handwritten notes. That will be the best methodology to get a rank in any exam. Okay. So do not run behind PPTs and do not run behind your PDF. I have seen a lot of students after lecture, they say, sir, please provide me PPT, or please provide me PPT. Arey Baba, what will you do with the PPT? I know that I have thousands of PPT on my laptop, on my computer. I have never even read those PPTs. Whenever I teach or whenever I read something, I always start fresh, or I always read whatever my handwritten notes are, or wherever I have highlighted something. That is the same thing goes to you also. Okay. Do not run behind PPTs and do not run behind PDF files. Okay. Now let us start. So one, we have the basic capacity. Second one is called as the possible capacity. Second one is called as the possible capacity. And third one is called as the practical capacity. Practical capacity. Generally, dear students, for calculation purpose, we go with the basic capacity. That is also written by C, capacity. What is this basic capacity? What is this capacity? Capacity is the maximum volume on a road or on a stretch. That is the maximum volume. What is basic capacity? The maximum volume in the most ideal conditions. In the most ideal conditions. What is the most ideal condition? Traffic situation is also normal. Okay. It is also as per our things, right? Okay. The surface characteristics are also smooth. There is no traffic light. So everything is ideal. Everything is ideal. So that capacity is called as the basic capacity. I hope that you have got it. Right? What is this possible capacity? It is the capacity at the prevailing road conditions. Prevailing road and traffic conditions. Prevailing road and traffic conditions. And this possible capacity is very much lesser than, possible capacity is less than the basic capacity. Possible capacity is less than the basic capacity. This question has also been asked in exam. This question has also been asked in exam. It was some state level PSC exam. In that particular exam, this question was asked. Which of the following expression is correct, or which of the following relation is correct? So the possible capacity is always less than the, possible capacity is always less than the basic capacity. That is the number one relation that you should remember, right? Next one is called as the practical capacity. Now, what is the practical capacity? That is practical, which is happening at ground, or we can say which is actually happening on road, which is actually happening on road. Actually happening on road. Actually happening on road. that is called as the practical capacity. Okay, practical capacity is also called as the design capacity. Design capacity. This can also be one of the questions in exam, that a designer, a highway designer, designs facilities on roads by taking which capacity into consideration: basic capacity, possible capacity, or practical capacity. So a highway designer, whenever he is designing anything on the road, he always takes into consideration the practical capacity. That is the practical capacity. That can also be one of the questions in exam. Okay, remember this thing, that is the practical capacity. Have you got it till now? Shall we proceed? So we have a formula also of the theoretical maximum capacity. I will derive it. So is it clear? Is everything clear till now? Is everything clear? Is everything clear till now? Then I will derive that particular formula. Is everything clear? Clear. Okay. Now let us derive the formula of capacity. Now what is this capacity? It is the number of vehicles per unit time. Simple. The time can be day, the time can be hour, it can be anything. I want a relationship between the space headway. I want a relationship between the space headway and the capacity. I want a relationship between the space headway or the spacing of the vehicle and spacing of the vehicle. Let us say that let center to center spacing. I can take it as space headway also, but I can take it as center also. For example, this distance is S. This distance is S. I can subtract half of the width of this vehicle and I can add half of the width of this vehicle. So this S distance will become equal to this. Is it fine? It means that the center to center spacing is equal to space headway, right? So let C by C distance is what? S. S in what? S in meters. Because I cannot measure the length of a vehicle or the distance between the vehicle in kilometers. It will be a very large distance. Meters. Even if it is a traffic condition, I will be able to get the answer, right? Now, if the length of the vehicle or the spacing between the vehicle is S meters, in 1 kilometers, how many vehicles do we have? In 1 kilometers, how many vehicles do we have? So for S meters, we have one vehicle. For S meters, we have one vehicle, right? For 1 meter, we have one vehicle divided by S. And for 1000 meters, that is your 1 kilometer. For 1000 meter, you will have 1000 divided by S number of vehicles. S vehicles. So you have 1000 divided by S vehicles for 1 kilometer. Simple. Now here, what is the number of vehicles coming out to be? 1000 upon S. So the correct formula is 1000 divided by S and divided by time. Divide by time. Clear? Divided by time. Now what is this time? What is this time? So time can be written as 1000 divided by S. Time can be written as x by t. What is this x? X for x kilometer. For x kilometer. So this was for 1 kilometer. This was for 1 kilometer. For x number of kilometer, 5 kilometer, 6 kilometer, 7 kilometer, the number of vehicles will be 1000 into x for x kilometer, right? And divided by time. Divided by time, right? So what is this x upon t? X upon t is the velocity. Number of kilometers divided by time taken is the velocity. So the capacity C can be written as 1000 V divided by S. Very important formula for capacity. Many times, many numericals have been asked from this particular formula, which is called as the capacity formula. Some students, they directly mug up this formula. that is C is equals to 1000 V divided by S. If you want to mug up this formula, well and good, but you should know how this formula has been derived. That is C is equals to 1000 V divided by S, where V is the velocity of vehicle and this velocity of the vehicle is in kilometers per hour, dear students. This velocity is in kilometers per hour. Remember this thing. This velocity is in kilometers per hour, right? Okay. And divided by S. Divided by S. Is it clear? Is it clear? So capacity is equal to, which capacity is this? This is the basic capacity, right? This is the basic capacity. That is the basic capacity. Is it clear? Is it fine? Is it fine? Okay, so let's do one thing, students. So it's already 10:30. Yeah, it's already a lot of time, right? So let's do one thing, students. Let's meet tomorrow. We will continue with this topic. We will also try to solve some numericals which have been asked in SSC JE, ESE as well as in GATE exam also. Because our you can say level of study will be a little bit on higher side. We will not just study for the level of SSC JE. Our level of study will be a little bit on the higher side, because if SSC JE sets a difficult paper, then we should be able to solve most of the questions. In a difficult paper, even if you are able to solve 120 questions correctly, that is more than enough. Even if your mains is not as per your marks, then even you will sail through. Okay, in a difficult paper. So we have to prepare ourselves for a difficult paper, because as the competition is increasing, the level of examination paper is also increasing. Okay, so in the next class we will try to solve some GATE questions also, ESE questions also, and SSC JE questions also, as well as we will continue with this topic. Okay, I hope that I was able to clear all your doubts. Let's meet tomorrow at the same time, at the same place, at the same channel, that is your testbook.com, and we will continue with this topic. Okay, so what time tomorrow? Kartika, same time tomorrow also, from 9:30 to 10:30. Okay, now you take rest and take care of yourself, because the season is also changing. Okay, and corona is also there, so take care of yourself, take care of your family. So have a nice day. Good night everyone. Good night. Let's meet tomorrow. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thanks for watching.